Welcome back to my channel. My name is Daniel, and if you want to learn how to properly lose weight fast in a way that is easy, sustainable to you, and in a way that doesn't feel like a diet, then you've come to the right place. So today I want to talk to you about your biggest enemy, your biggest weight loss enemy, and that is the scale. Now, if you've tried to lose weight, or if you're currently trying to lose weight, then you know that the scale can be the most stressful thing in your life. The scale can so much as make or break your day, your week, to be more specific. It can so much as motivate you, it can discourage you, and in some really bad scenarios, I've seen people completely give up on their journey and what they're doing because of what a number is telling them, because of what a number on a device is telling them. And if you're experiencing this, the point of today's video is to help you, give you more clarity and to give you more assurance on how to properly use the scale and how to properly translate the number on the scale, so that you don't tie your self-esteem or your progress all on a number, because there's so many variables that go into a weigh-in. There's just so many things that go into what a number is telling you and what a device is telling you. Now, this particular, today's topic was inspired by an email that I got from a client of mine, and I'm going to read that here in just a second. But I am sure that a lot of you are going to be able to, empathize with this particular email, because, her question is basically, can me checking the scale every single day, could that somehow be affecting my results? And, I'm going to answer that question here in just a second. But if you're constantly seeking that reassurance, it's going to wreak havoc on your mental state. Significantly, it's going to do that. And it's not so much that stepping on the scale is going to affect you, it's what it's going to do to you internally. So like I said, we're going to go over the main points that you need to psychologically conquer, so that your self-esteem and so that your progress isn't so tied in with what a number is going to tell you, and more importantly, how to actually know if what you're doing is working. Now, my disclaimer here is that the scale is only a tool. It's a tool for reference. It shouldn't be used as your number one proof of success, but it can be used as a tool for reference, and that's the main thing that I want you to get out of this video today. So I'm going to get straight to my client's email, and here's what she says. Daniel, since our appointment last week, I've had a very hard time doing what you've told me to do, which is to only check the scale on a weekly basis. I keep checking it every single day and almost every night. I don't know why or how, but I feel like checking the scale every day is hurting my progress. Can this be true somehow? Additionally, I feel like I cannot break this habit. What should I do? What can I do to not check the scale every single day? I want to do as you told me, but I cannot break this bad habit. So that's a great question, and the very first thing that I want to address is, yes, it is going to be hurting your results and your progress. So if you're watching this and you're checking the scale constantly, every single morning, every 2 days, every 3 days after a cheat meal, it is going to affect you. And like I said, it's not so much that action is going to affect you, but it's what it does to you mentally. It's what it's going to do to you psychologically, because there are many variables that go into a weigh-in. So let me give you an example. Let's say that just for the sake of the example, let's say that you weigh 200 pounds, and a good amount of weight loss or fat loss, I should say, is going to be 2 to 2.5 pounds a week. Let's say that you lost 2.5 pounds of fat for that week. However, you did a leg workout prior to your weigh-in. When you work on your legs, when you have a leg workout, you're going to have a little bit of swelling, a little bit of inflammation. That's a good thing. Your muscles are going to retain a little bit of water, a little bit of glycogen if you're doing some, if you're eating carbs. Now, let's also assume that, that you ate a little bit of sodium prior to the weigh-in. Let's also assume that you gain half a pound of muscle, which is a really good thing. With all those three things combined, you're at a net loss of 0 pounds. Now, the key word here is pounds. Does that mean that you didn't lose any body fat? Absolutely not. You're still doing good. You're still on track. You're still on your journey. The thing is that swelling, the inflammation from the leg workout is going to go down. The sodium retention is going to go down in a half a day or a day. But because you got so caught up with what the scale is telling you, you think that what you're doing isn't working. So what happens is the depression comes in, the sadness comes in, the unmotivation comes in. So then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy in that now you actually go and binge eat because you think that what you're doing isn't working. And to make matters worse, let's assume that let's say that you're a female. Like for example, for females, close to the time of the month, there's about 2 to 3% of water retention of their weight. So that's an additional 2 or 3 pounds that the scale can be showing you. But that doesn't mean that you're not on track or on progress. So you have to keep that in mind. The scale is only a tool used for reference. That's why it's very important that you only check it once a week, possibly every 2 weeks, so that you can have that tool for reference. But it shouldn't be your number one proof of success. If you make it so, I promise you, you're not gonna get to your goal. So the very first thing that you gotta do is put that shit away. So put that scale away and make it a ritual, or make it a habit that you only check it once a week on the same day at the same time. And the best time to do it is in the morning, right after waking up. 10 minutes, get moving, have a little bit of water, go to the bathroom, and then check the scale. But do it on the same day. Do it like on a Wednesday morning. Don't do it the day after a cheat meal. Do it on the same day. The second thing that you gotta do is have other proofs of success besides the scale. And this is the big thing that I see people not doing. Make sure that you do things like progress pictures, but you're checking those every 2 weeks or every month. Don't do it every single day. And my favorite one is your waistline. So your waistline, you can actually check that every week or every 2 weeks. So if you think that what the scale is saying is not conducive to what you're experiencing, then check your waistline, and you're gonna see, oh, I lost 2 inches, so it is working. So there's something off with the scale. It's not me. So your waistline is gonna give you a more accurate measurement as well. But you can still use the scale as a reinforcer, but not as your number one proof of success. And the third thing you gotta keep in mind, and this is more of like a little technicality, not all scales are the same. Even if you have a good scale at home, scales, they're going to be, a little bit, funky from time to time. I don't know if you've experienced this. Like you go to a doctor's office and then you do a weigh-in, and then you're 10 pounds heavier than what your scale at home says, or you're 10 pounds lighter. So you can't fully trust the scale. You got to keep in mind it's just a device. It's just a thing. I'm not by any means saying that you should neglect it or that you should ignore it, but keep that in mind. It's just a device with a number. So all scales are not built the same. I've even experienced this. Like you check a scale at home, then you go to your aunt's house and you check it again, and it's a 2 pound difference. So keep that in mind too, that not all scales are going to be 100% calibrated. They're all going to be different. And remember, there's always variables happening within your body. You could have a big meal before a weigh-in that could affect your weight, but that doesn't mean that you're putting on fat. It doesn't mean that you're that you're reversing your progress. So there's many things that you have to keep in mind. So I think more importantly is remember to have 1 day a week where you check the scale. Just 1 day. It could be Wednesday, Thursday morning, and then that's it. Once you check your weight, put the scale away. Have other proofs of success, like your waistline, progress pictures. Those are probably more realistic and more objective than the scale. And more importantly, how do you feel? Do you feel like what you're doing is working? If you do a little bit of self-reflection, you'll feel your body changing. So you don't have to subject yourself to the scale, so you'll know. And in this, it sucks because I've seen clients where they know I'm doing great, I'm losing inches, but then they check the scale and then poof, that feeling is gone. So keep that in mind, please. If you're trying to lose weight, don't stress about the scale. Remember that it's only a tool for reference. It's not your number one proof of success. And if you've struggled with the scale, let me know in the comments what has been your number one stressor when it comes to checking your weight. I'd love to hear from you and answer your questions in the comments. And other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video.